Hello students, in previous class we have seen what does mean by nutrition, what are the different modes of nutrition, what does mean by autotrophic nutrition, and also we have seen about the photosynthesis process. In today's class we are going to see about what is mean by heterotrophic nutrition, what are the different types of heterotrophic plants, and what is today's homework. Heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero means other, trophy means nutrition. They depend on other organisms for their food. There are some cases when the organism depend on other organisms for their food. First cases, some plants they can't able to carry out photosynthesis process. Why they can't able to carry out photosynthesis process? They will not contain chlorophyll. They grow in places where they do not get enough light. We know for photosynthesis, light and chlorophyll are the necessary conditions for the photosynthesis. If they are not present, they can't able to carry out photosynthesis process. They can't prepare their own food. So they depend on other organisms for nutrition. Second case is some plants they will have chlorophyll, they will carry out photosynthesis process, but they depend on other organisms for certain nutrients. The mode of nutrition in which an organism depend on other organism for food is called heterotrophic nutrition. Organisms that follow heterotrophic mode of nutrition are called heterotrophs. Examples for heterotrophic nutrition are non-green plants. Next, different types of heterotrophic plants. Parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. Parasitic plant. These plants get their food from other green plants. That green plants are called host plant. These plants are called parasites. These parasitic plants they partially or completely they depends upon another plant for nutrition. Usually if you see the parasitic plants, they have some special roots. They will be penetrating into the tissues of the host plant. So they can obtain their food from the root or stem of the host plant. In a parasitic relationship, only the parasitic plant they benefits. Why only the parasitic plants benefits us? This parasitic plant they will be harms the host plant. They slow down the growth of the host plant. Sometimes rarely it will kill the host plant itself. Examples for parasitic plants are Cuscuta, Dodder, Mistletoe, Rafflesia. First example is Cuscuta or Dodder. Cuscuta is a non-green plant. They do not have chlorophyll. They can't prepare their own food. If you see Cuscuta, it has a short root and long thread-like stems. These stems will be twining around the stem and branches of the trees on which it climbs. They obtain their food through the roots that grows from the base of the stem. So this completely depends upon the host plant. So it is called as a complete parasite. Mistletoe. Mistletoe has green leaves. These plants generally grow high on the branches of old trees. They can prepare their own food, but they depend on host plant for waters and minerals. So they are called as partial parasites. Next example, Rafflesia. Rafflesia is the largest flower in the world. It has a 5 petals and they have a diameter of up to 106 centimeter and they weigh up to 10 kg. This is also a insectivorous plant. Saprophytic plant. Sapros mean rotting, phytonous plant. Saprophytic plant is a plant which obtain their nutrients from the dead and decaying plant and animal matter. So they will be obtaining the nutrients from the dead and decaying plant and animal matter. If you see saprophytic plants, they are generally whitish in color. They will not be brightly colored. Some plants only will be brightly colored. They will have no leaves. So they will be growing in a deep shade in a tropical forest. Roots of saprophytic plants, they contain organisms called fungi. We know saprophytic plants, they obtain their nutrients from the dead and decaying plant and animal matter. So this dead and decaying animal and plant matter will be converted into nutrients by the fungi. So only the roots they have organisms called fungi. So this fungi, they convert the dead and decaying matter into a nutrients which is used as a food by this plants. The fungi are also called as saprotrophs. So the examples for fungi are mushroom, toadstools, and the breadroot. So see the pictures, these are examples for fungi. So first, fungi is also considered as a plants. Then now they are classified as a separate kingdom. So the examples for saprophytic plants are Indian pipe, coral root. So this is the Indian pipe, this is the coral root. If you see this Indian pipe, it is whitish in color. They have no leaves at all. Both the plants, they do not have any leaves. So here, generally they are found in the deep shade in a tropical forest. So Indian pipe will be generally found in Asia and North America. Coral root is found in forest in the world. Insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants or green plants, they can prepare their own food, but they depend on other animal sources for certain nutrients. Insectivorous plants or plants, they derive some or most of the nutrients by trapping and consuming animals, mainly insects. So generally these plants, they grow in places where the soil will be deficient in certain nutrients, especially nitrogen. So this nitrogen compounds they obtain by trapping and consuming the animals. So they need to obtain the required nutrients from other sources. If you see the insectivorous plants, generally the leaves of these plants are modified to trap insects. These insects will be killed by these plants and the nutrients of these insects will be taken by this type of plants. So generally these plants, they will be attracting the insects with the help of the attractive color and their nectar and scent. The examples for insectivorous plants are Venus flytrap, picture plant, Drosera or sundew bladderwort. First example for insectivorous plants is Venus flytrap. If you see the pictures, you can see the leaves are modified to trap insects. If you see closely watches the leaves, here you have some short, stiff hair-like structures on the leaves. Actually, the insects, they touches this hairs, these leaves will be shut, they'll be closed. Less than a second, then they are trapped and digested. Next example is picture plant. Here, the leaves are modified to form a tubular structure or picture structure. Here, they'll have a lid to open and close, and also they have a downward pointing hair at the opening of the picture. So if any insect is trapped inside this picture, it can't able to get outside. The juices, digestive juices will be secreted inside, so they are digested and the nutrients are absorbed by the plants. Next example is sundew or Drosera. Here the leaves are modified to form a long thin structures called tentacles. If you closely watch the picture, you can see some droplets. That is a sticky substance called mucilage. If an insect touches this mucilage, it will be get stuck in that, it can't able to escape. Then they are digested and the nutrients are absorbed. Next example is bladderwort. So if you see the bladderwort, here the leaves, they are having a large number of small spear-shaped bladder structures. Actually, this will be trapping the small insects less than a second. Symbiotic plants. Symbiotic plants are plants which lives in association with other organisms. They share the food and other resources. They mutually gain from each other. This relationship is called as a symbiosis. So the examples for symbiotic plants are lichens and we can say rhizobium bacteria. If you see the picture, these are the lichens. They are the most amazing forms of life. Actually, it composed of two organisms, algae and fungi, which live and they work together. The algae, they contain a chlorophyll. They can make their own food. The fungi, they share the food made by the algae. The fungi, in turn, they provide a protection and water and minerals to the algae. So they are mutually gain from each other. And another example is root nodules of the leguminous plant, that is pea plants. If you see the pea plants in their root nodules, you will have a rhizobium bacteria. This rhizobium bacteria, they will be providing the pea plants a nitrogen in a soluble form. In turn, these plants, they will be giving a food and shelter to rhizobium bacteria. This two both, they will be gaining from each other. That's all students, today's class. What we have seen so far, or what is meant by heterotrophic nutrition, what are the different types of heterotrophic plants. So we have four types of heterotrophic plants: parasitic plant, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. So we have seen some examples for all type of plants. Next, today's homework is you just do the worksheet 1 in the materials what we have given and complete the worksheet. We will discuss the answers on tomorrow's session.